Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about the Cowboys, the offense in particular. What does the future hold for this team? What does this hold for the Cowboys offense in particular? This is serious. We're at cap mode time because this is serious as hell because we're not hitting the panic button yet, and maybe we're saying that to pretend that we believe that. Who knows? All right. But the Cowboys offense is not good right now. 30th overall, 31st in the passing game. It's awful. It's abysmal. All right. What's scary about this is, and we're still talking about, what's to blame, who's to blame, and that kind of thing. We're not. We are going to kind of talk about that, but what I'm going to talk about is what possibly may happen here in the immediate future. All right. What could possibly happen? Obviously, we're all hoping that we turn it around here. We go on a streak here. We turn around, and we look like the good old days, all right? But, nothing from the past, from these, even going back a couple of games last year, even this year, it looks like we're stuck. It looks like there's an issue. So, kind of not holding my breath, but obviously, just try to stay positive. But what we want to do is talk about what may happen, all right? Let's talk about that, all right? Let's go down memory lane here real quick with you guys. All right, so look at this. This is a 2015 season. If you remember this, and if you don't, we'll go over it real quick. But if you remember the 2015 season, the Cowboys went 4-12. Tony Romo was knocked out after week 2, and they really just everything fell off. All right, that was Scott Linehan as the offensive coordinator. Cowboys had some backups. Tried to move the ball. They couldn't move it down the field. Brandon Weeden. By week 7, they made a trade for Matt Castle, hoping that would do some kind of that would spark the offense. All right, so and it didn't happen. All right, it didn't happen. They couldn't move the ball, and we crashed 4-12 record with Scott Linehan, and they couldn't get anything moving. All right, now why am I talking about 2015? There's a correlation here. You look at the 2015 season, we didn't have a starting quarterback. If you look at this season and a lot of last season, there's some evidence here that we're looking for a quarterback here. Dak Prescott has taken a step back. Has he peaked? All right, so, and I've said this before, this team currently looks like a team that's playing with a backup quarterback and waiting for the starter to return. All right. And I'm not dogging Dak Prescott. I'm just talking about the reality here of what's on the table. All right, what the cards hold, and you cannot count on Scott Linehan to get something going. All right, and I'm afraid that if they bench Dak, you put Cooper Rush in there or Mike White, or maybe they make some kind of crazy trade. You're still gonna have, unless you make a trade for a premier guy. All right. A premier guy like an Andrew Luck, 29 years old, that kind of guy. Somebody like that. Obviously, you're not going to get a Drew Brees or one of these older guys, but somebody that has some upside, somebody like an Andrew Luck or somebody like that, maybe. But Jerry Jones isn't going to make that move, so we can count that out. So what's left? What is left? All right, let's take a look at the schedule here. What can happen here? All right, look at the schedule, cowboysblog.net. Make sure you bookmark that, sign up. Okay, our next game is week 4 with the Detroit Lions. Week 5 at Houston Texans. That's a night game. And then Jacksonville, we host them. And then we're on the road week 7 at the Redskins. All right, and then the bye week. All right, this is where I think something could happen. If the offense stays anemic, if we go into the bye week looking bad, we're still playing sloppy on offense, not moving the ball, I think a change will, in fact, happen by week 8. All right. Will it be Dak Prescott? Probably not. All right. He's the face of the franchise. Love or hate it, they're going to keep giving him a chance. The Cowboys are very patient with keeping players around. So I wouldn't see them pulling the plug on Dak. But Scott Linehan could get the guillotine. Right there, man. That could be it. Week 8, he gets the axe. Jason Garrett takes over and tries to salvage the season, week 9, 10, 11, and that sort of thing. But if Jason Garrett can't turn around Dak Prescott, you know, then I think by then you do know. You know, Scott Linehan couldn't get it going. Jason Garrett couldn't get it going after he took over. They either do one thing. They either, you know, have a bad season and you know, go in the first round. But what is the cost to get a quarterback? You know, whether it's going out and making some crazy trade during the season, which I still think they won't do it. But if they did, you're looking at giving up multiple picks. It's better to go in the draft. All right. Now, and these are just hypotheticals, guys. You know, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. It could happen. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Do I want this to happen? No, I do not want this to happen. I want Dak Prescott to succeed. I want him to get this offense going, but I think there's a few things holding him back. All right. But if we're talking about quarterback, and if at the end of this whole deal, man, we find out Dak isn't the guy, Scott Linehan isn't the guy, and nobody could get this thing going, then they're going to have to rebuild this whole thing. Whether they keep Jason Garrett or not, I don't know. But you do have to get a franchise quarterback, and it'll be costly. Take a look at this. These are recent moves that various teams have done to move up. I mean, you're giving up a king's ransom. All right, LA Rams moved up from 15 to number 1 overall to get Jared Goff. He looks good in that system. All right, he looks good with McVay. But look at the picks they gave up. First, 4th, and 6th, and then 2 second rounds, a 3rd round in this year, as well as a 1st and 3rd in the next season. All right, so they gave up a whole lot to get Jared Goff. All right, Eagles did a similar move. They moved from number 8 to number 2 to get Carson Wentz. 1st, 3rd, 4th in that particular draft, and then in the next year they gave up a 1st round pick. So. And then Chicago Bears kind of did a similar move for Trubisky. But the point is, wherever you're at, even if you're a 4-12 season and you're, you know, say you're the number 4 pick and you want to move up to number 1 to get your guy, you're going to have to give up some premium picks, 2 first-round picks. You cannot escape that. Plus, you know, some second-round picks, 3rd rounds. You're giving up a lot. So the Cowboys have not drafted a quarterback in the 1st round, and I'm not counting Steve Walsh in the supplemental draft. I'm counting Troy Aikman in 1989. The Cowboys have not drafted a quarterback in the 1st round. All right, they've gone the free agent route. They've gone with, you know, old guys, Testaverde, Bledsoe, Henson. That trade didn't work out. Chad Hutchinson. The list goes on and on. They finally hit on Tony Romo by a miracle, thanks to Bill Parcells and Sean Payton in particular. But this team needs to draft a quarterback in their 1st round. Enough is enough. The drought has gone on way too long. It's one of the longest positional droughts for the Cowboys when we're talking about a draft pick, quarterback and defensive tackle. Those two have been the biggest drought in a very, very long time. You're talking about 1989 and 1990 for those two positions that they haven't drafted in the 1st round. But that's what I think is going to happen right now, guys. I think that's what could happen. Hopefully we'll beat the Detroit Lions. I'm not so confident that we will. I love our defense, but the offense just isn't getting it done. All right. So I'm looking forward. I'm kind of just tracking to see what's going on here. You're hearing all the right things from the organization. They're not going to throw anybody under the bus right now. Everything is as it is. Yes, I support Scott Linehan. We saw Garrett say that. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. Yes, you know, we're not going to make any big personnel moves. We're not going to do this and that. But once you get to it, and you know, if things are still looking bad, there will be moves, and I think that one that will happen would be Scott Linehan. All right, and then you see if Jason Garrett can turn around Dak Prescott. One thing that we should find out this season is Dak Prescott the answer? Is he your franchise quarterback? We have to find out. We have to find out this year. All right, this year we have to find out. You can't go in this year and say, "Oh, we're going to extend him to a $130 million contract." Not the way the offense looks right now. All right, but let me know what you guys think. What do you think the future holds? All right, that's what I want from you guys. What do you think the future holds? That's what we're talking about here. Are they going to win some games? Do you think this offense will turn it around? Do you believe in Scott Linehan? Do you think that there will be, you know, some coaching changes here by the bye week if we don't do well. Let me know in the comments, guys. I'm really curious to see what you guys think is going to happen here over the next 4 weeks. All right. I really appreciate all you guys. The growth has been really great. Continue to follow the podcast. We're getting a lot of followers there. We had a great conversation last night, Foots and I. And as usual, guys, continue to like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you for the next video. Thanks, guys.